Hello there, and of course, welcome to this date, which is Thursday, the 27th of March 2025. I'm Nick C. So today is a special kind of video. When I say special, it is a special word, isn't it? It means something really great and something really interesting at the same time. Well, hopefully to the public eye, it will be interesting. And it will mark down some history of Juliani Buzz playing some organs back in the day. We've got two lots of videos. One, of course, at the end where it's an audio and a slideshow, and the one that you're going to see right now is in actual fact one that is a village and is easy accessible by train or even by car or even by bus. But yeah, it's pretty much down the road from Sudbury, and it's a village called Bures. I'd love to go there again. It's a village that I would like to visit again, although of course you can get to other places after Bures, like Waits Cold and then Marks Tay and then on to Colchester and so on. And yeah, when it's a nice day you like to go anywhere, but of course Bures is sort of a village that I would like to visit once more. I'm sure there's lovely places to walk around to, but hopefully, yeah, I'll get the opportunity to go back to Bures and perhaps, of course, visit the church there again. But of course, on this occasion, this was recorded in 2014, and Julian plays a couple of pieces, and of course we show you a little bit of the footage used by a sort of not great standard camera. I actually lost that camera many years ago, actually, in Newmarket, actually, and I never found it ever since. I think someone stole it, but of course, yeah, I've got some lovely pictures because it had a date on the actual pictures as well. So have a look at what we took at the time, and then we transfer over to Horseheath Church, which is between Cambridge and Linton, where it's easy accessible by bus, or you can actually go by car or taxi. But like I say, it is definitely well worth listening to that. We've got When the Saints Go Marching in audio in the background as Julian performs on the Horseheath organ, and you see the slideshow of the actual pictures that we took inside the church of Horseheath. But first, here's a look at Bures back in 2014. Watch this. Well, this broadcast has been dedicated to a touring channel, formerly known as Touring With Us, in 2013, where Freelance Videos was under the previous name, then changed over to Touring With Us probably around about 2019. So Freelance Videos was going up until that sort of time, from 2011, 2012, 13 and so on. And yeah, up until the 2029, of course, Freelance Videos changed direction, and of course it changed into Touring With Us, and then of course recently this year of 2025 we changed to Touring. So touring itself has got a history of background, especially in name changing, but we are still the same people, just in case you are just wondering and just switching on right this minute. Okay, before we actually finish up the video, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for watching that, and of course I want to say courtesy of Juliani Buzz, which is the current stage name of Julian Clouds. But of course I'm actually going to read to you some word for today towards the end of this video, because I thought it would be quite nice to hear a little bit of the word for today, hopefully with some background sort of music as we go. But yeah, before I go to the word for today, I'd like to say a huge thank you for watching the both videos, although they were pretty much short. The two excerpts, or the two kind of pieces that Juliani played at Bures, was in 2014. That was then followed by an audio version or audio recording of 2012 at Horseheath Church, and of course we only had the slide pictures at the time because we didn't have time to use our video cameras for that one, so we only did sort of snapshots, if you like. But both great places, and of course one is easier access than the other, which is Horseheath. But yeah, you know, we can get to Bures at some point, but we're gonna make a sort of trip to go over there at some point. That won't be anytime soon, but of course we'll have to make a note of that one. Anyway, it's time for the word for today. United Christian Broadcasters. First of all, I'd like to go through and talk you through a verse, which is verse of the day. Okay, from Peter 1:4/8 ESV, from the Holy Bible app. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. I repeat that once more. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Hopefully you understand what that means, and that's quite interesting to say the least. So it's time for, yes, you've got it, United Christian Broadcasters word for today. Now this word for today is definitely talking about praying about it and then taking action. So they begin this good work. There is a time to pray, and there is a time to take action. Sometimes that means filling out a job application, or writing the check, or setting up an appointment, or having the conversation, or making the move. Peter Marshall said, "I wonder what would happen if we all agreed to read one of the Gospels until we came to a place that told us to do something, then went out to do it, and only after we had done it began reading again." There are aspects of the Gospel that are puzzling and difficult to understand. But our problems are not centered around things we don't understand, but rather the things we do understand. Our problem is that not so much that we don't know what we should do. We know perfectly well, but we don't want to do it. One of the big mistakes we make is requesting God to do for us what God wants us to do for him. Before God parted the waters of Jordan River to allow the Israelites to enter the Canaan, he told the priests to take a few steps into the river. Why did God do it that way? Maybe it was because he wanted to know if they had enough faith to get their feet wet. As long as your feet are planted on dry ground, God won't part the river for you. You say, I'm waiting for God to move. Perhaps God is waiting for you to step out in the faith and make the first move. If so, the word for today is take action. And that's the end of the word for today for now. And we say thanks be to God. So if you'd like more of this kind of thing into the future, then do not hesitate to get in touch. Leave us a comment down below, and of course we'll try and answer you as best as we are able to. And the most important thing is to subscribe free of charge to the touring channel. If you're on TikTok or any other available source, primarily at TikTok, then please do subscribe on a sort of monthly fee to check out more content behind the scenes, that kind of stuff, and stuff that you will see nowhere else. But that's the paid subscription, and that's the difference between paid subscription and subscribing free on touring channel. But I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for watching, and just remember where you saw this. This is a picture, by the way, of the field which is between Haverhill and a village called Keddington, and it's a piece of grass and it's a piece of field, but it's also an area where of course you can walk up towards a sort of farmyard area and hilly sort of side. But yeah, this was actually taken in the year, I can actually reveal, 2017. So we are going to give you some footage from that sort of time. So we are going back in time here, and of course reminiscing some best footage of that sort of time, and even beforehand as well. So that's what we're pretty much doing. Okay, so remember where you saw this, and in the next video hopefully you'll see, of course, more footage that we have done in the past, especially for touring with us.